Welcome to Attleboro Update. For over 10 years, the Greater Attleboro POW MIA 9/11 Remembrance Committee has made an effort to honor the soldiers lost in war and the victims of the September 11th attacks. The committee held a Candlelight remembrance ceremony last Saturday evening in Capron Park. We spoke with veteran and committee member Tom Tullie about the ceremony and the organization.
Tonight we gather to remember our heroes and to express our continued support in thoughts of them. Tonight we again commit ourselves to bring to the forefront the fact that they are waiting to be found and brought back to their families. To remind our leaders that the missing are not forgotten and that we will not just fade away.
I used to be the veterans agent in Attleboro for 20-something years, and we've been doing this program. It's a POW MIA 9/11 Remembrance. We started doing the POW MIA, and the third year into it, on that Wednesday before our event is when that tragedy struck, and the Twin Towers went down, and a terrible, terrible thing that happened to our country. So we included in our ceremony the 9/11 aspect of it to respect and honor those people who, even within our own community, passed away. This memorial behind us that we built 2 years ago, on the top of it says, "You shall not be forgotten," which is kind of indicative of what we do. We do not want to let the plight of people who were killed on active duty and whose bodies were never recovered, we don't let that to go away. We want the government to be their feet to the fire because they have been lacking in so many years, not funding these programs. So this POW MIA part of it is to keep the word alive, to keep it in the memory of everyone, that we have members of the armed forces from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and even in the latest conflicts. These are people who had died or are prisoners, and they're still there. We want to get them home and bury them so their families can have some solace. As you notice on the memorial, we have the Twin Towers. That's something we added to the memorial because this day we also remember that tragedy, that 9/11. And we have our own Lynn Goodchild and Sean Nassani, two people from our community who lost their lives in that airplane in 9/11. So it's close to us. And those are the kind of things you want to continue to remember. So we have our elected officials come and say a few words. We have an invocation, and we have a candlelight ceremony, which is a fantastic thing. We light a candle from every POW MIA in the state of Massachusetts, and we have a wall back there that has their names on it, and we put a star when one of them are recovered. We started doing a good job of it, but they haven't recovered many bodies in the last 4 years from Vietnam, and that's something we're gonna push to get them to refund that program and so on. This is the least participation we got. I don't know if you counted, but we used to have quite a large crowd, and it's a gorgeous night. I don't know why we don't get the numbers of people coming out that we have in the past, but we appreciate anyone who comes because we're going to do this even if we're all alone. We used to get 200 people, and we were very thrilled with that. I'm not sure what it is, but that's our job, to get that issue back before the American people and mostly the people in our own community. We haven't got tired of it. It's a difficult thing to do. It's a lot of work, but it's something that we've dedicated ourselves to doing as part of being a veteran, as part of being American member of the American Legion, the DAV, and VFW. That's one of the most important issues. Our government, unfortunately, started doing a decent job and then they stopped. It's a management problem, and we haven't got any new bodies back from Vietnam in several years, and that's only because of the organization. There's funding available, not enough we think, but they're just dropping the ball on that. It's not an issue to them. If we can convince our elected officials to put more pressure on those agencies within the government and the president himself to make sure those things happen. You know, if you had a loved one, a husband, a son, a brother, a sister who lost their lives overseas, and you never had the opportunity to take them back to bury them, to say your final goodbyes. When you're in the military, that's one thing you don't do. I mean, that's the first thing you learn. You don't leave anybody behind. And that's kind of our motto. We're going to continue until everybody's brought home.